When was the last time you truly focused on yourself? Your goals, your dreams, your future. Most people spend their whole lives worrying about what others think, comparing themselves to everyone around them, and losing sight of their own path. But the truth is simple: the moment you stop chasing validation and start focusing on your own growth, everything begins to change. This audiobook will show you why your dreams deserve your full attention, why you must invest in yourself daily, and how focusing on your own journey can take you farther than you ever imagined. You'll learn how to cut out noise, protect your energy, stay committed, and build a life that reflects who you truly are. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss powerful lessons like this. Now let's dive in and start building the life you've always dreamed of. Chapter 1: Why you must focus on yourself first. Your life begins to change the moment you decide to focus on yourself. Not halfway, not when it is convenient, but fully, with your whole attention. Many people spend their days looking outward instead of inward. They care about what others think, what others are doing, and how others are living. But the truth is, none of that has anything to do with your future. Your dreams, your goals, and your growth are shaped by what you choose to do for yourself. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the only way to become the person you truly want to be. When you focus on yourself, you take responsibility for your life. You stop waiting for someone else to save you, guide you, or push you. You begin to understand that your path is yours alone. No one can walk it for you. No one can make your dreams come true. Only you can. And that realization gives you power. It gives you direction. It gives you freedom to build a life that feels meaningful. But focusing on yourself is not always easy. From a young age, people are taught to fit in, to follow the crowd, to compare themselves, and to look for approval from others. You might not even realize how much of your time and energy goes into worrying about how others see you. You may find yourself thinking about who is ahead of you, who is doing better, or who seems happier. But every second spent comparing is a second lost from building your own future. When you focus on yourself, you stop giving that power away. You also learn to listen to your own voice. Everyone around you has opinions. They will tell you what to do, what not to do, what is possible, what is impossible, what you should want, and what you should avoid. If you are not focused on yourself, these voices can drown out your own desires. They can distract you from your dreams. They can make you doubt your abilities. But when you turn your attention inward, when you start trusting yourself, those voices lose their power. You begin to guide your own life instead of letting others guide it for you. One of the most important reasons to focus on yourself is that no one knows your dreams the way you do. No one feels your passions the way you feel them. No one has lived your life, faced your challenges, or seen your future the way you imagine it. Your dreams belong only to you. If you do not protect them, no one else will. When you focus on yourself, you give your dreams the attention they deserve. You give them space to grow. Focusing on yourself also helps you understand what truly matters to you. Many people chase things because others chase them. They pick careers, goals, and lifestyles based on pressure or expectation. But when you take time to look inward, you start to understand what you personally value. You discover what kind of future you want. You realize what makes you come alive. You stop living for others and start living for yourself. This shift can feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty for choosing yourself. You might feel nervous about stepping away from what others expect. But this discomfort is part of growth. Choosing yourself is not wrong. It is the beginning of personal power. When you focus on yourself, you create space to grow into the person you want to be. Another reason focusing on yourself matters is because it helps you control your energy. Your energy is limited. Every day you wake up with a certain amount of mental, emotional, and physical energy. If you spend it worrying about others, comparing yourself, or chasing approval, you will have nothing left for your dreams. But when you direct your energy toward yourself, everything changes. You become more productive, more confident, and more capable. You use your time wisely. You become intentional with your decisions. You start making progress toward the life you want. Focusing on yourself also teaches you independence. When you focus on others, you depend on their reactions, their validation, and their actions. But when you focus on yourself, you build your own foundation. You learn to trust yourself. You learn to make decisions that benefit your growth. You learn to rely on your abilities, not someone else's. This independence becomes a strength that follows you throughout your life. Another powerful part of focusing on yourself is learning to stay in your own lane. When you focus on others, it is easy to feel behind. You might look at someone else's success and wonder why you haven't reached that level yet. But comparing yourself to others is like comparing two books with different stories. Everyone has a unique timeline. Everyone has different opportunities, challenges, and experiences. When you stay in your own lane and focus on your own journey, you begin to grow at your own pace. You discover that you do not need to rush. You do not need to compete. You only need to work on your story. When you focus on yourself, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You start to notice what inspires you, what motivates you, and what drains you. You become more aware of your habits, your strengths, and your weaknesses. This awareness helps you grow faster because you understand what you need to improve. When your attention is scattered across other people's lives, you cannot see your own clearly. But when your focus returns to yourself, clarity appears. One of the greatest benefits of focusing on yourself is peace. When you stop worrying about others, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. You stop trying to meet impossible expectations. You stop chasing approval. You stop feeling like you are behind. You begin to feel calm because you realize that your journey is your own. You begin to feel at peace because you are no longer fighting battles that do not belong to you. Focusing on yourself also helps you build self-respect. When you invest in yourself, care for yourself, and prioritize your dreams, you send a message to yourself that you matter. You learn to respect your time, your energy, and your goals. This self-respect influences every decision you make. It helps you set boundaries. It helps you protect your mental health. It helps you choose people who respect you. When you focus on yourself, you teach the world how to treat you. Another important part of this journey is learning to embrace solitude. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with loneliness. But solitude is different. Solitude is the quiet space where your mind becomes clear. Solitude is the place where you reconnect with your dreams. Solitude helps you grow stronger because you learn to enjoy your own company. When you are comfortable being alone, you no longer rely on others for your sense of worth. You become whole within yourself. Focusing on yourself also gives you the freedom to reinvent yourself. You are not stuck where you are. You can change your habits, your goals, your mindset, and your path. You can let go of what no longer serves you. You can start fresh at any moment. When your attention is on yourself, you gain the courage to make these changes. You realize that your future is not determined by your past. It is shaped by your choices today. People often believe that focusing on themselves is selfish, but the opposite is true. When you take care of yourself, when you grow, when you follow your dreams, you become a better person for those around you. You show others what is possible. You inspire those who watch your journey. You become someone who leads by example. When you are strong within yourself, you are better able to help others. Growth begins with you. Focusing on yourself also means learning to let go of unnecessary pressure. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You do not need to meet everyone's expectations. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be committed to your own growth. When you release pressure, you become lighter. You become more creative. You become more confident. You become more motivated because the journey becomes yours again. Every dream you have needs your attention. Dreams do not grow without care. They do not develop without action. They do not come true unless you focus on them. When you focus on yourself, You are also focusing on your dreams. You are choosing to spend your life building something meaningful. You are choosing to create a future you can be proud of. You are choosing to give yourself a chance. Your dreams may feel far away right now, but distance does not matter when you are moving forward. Every small step you take counts. Every bit of progress brings you closer. When you stay focused on yourself, you stay connected to your dreams. You remind yourself of why you started. You encourage yourself when others are silent. You keep going, even when the road is long. This is the power of focus. Focusing on yourself is not a one-time decision. It is something you practice every day. You will face moments of doubt. You will face distractions. You will face pressure. But each time you bring your attention back to yourself, you grow stronger. You learn more about who you are. You become more committed to your future. This practice turns into a lifestyle. It becomes a mindset that guides every step of your journey. Your dreams deserve your full attention. Your future deserves your energy. Your growth deserves your commitment. When you choose to focus on yourself, you choose a life filled with purpose, peace, and progress. You choose to believe in your power. You choose to honor your journey, and you choose to rise. Chapter 2. Learning to block out the noise around you. There comes a moment in life when you realize that most of the noise around you is meaningless. People talk, people judge, people complain, and people compare. The world is full of voices telling you what you should be, how you should live, and what you should dream about. But none of those voices matter when it comes to your future. The only voice that should guide you is the one inside your heart. Learning to block out the noise around you is one of the most powerful steps in focusing on yourself and your dreams. Most people never learn how to block out noise. They carry it everywhere, like a weight tied to their mind. Noise shows up in different forms. It can be the expectations of your family, the opinions of your friends, the comments from strangers online, or the pressure from society. All of this can make you doubt yourself. It can make you hesitate when you want to move forward. It can make you question the dreams that were once so clear. But when you learn to silence that noise, everything begins to change. The noise around you becomes powerful only if you allow it to enter your mind. If you let every opinion shape your path, you lose control of your life. That's why learning to block out the noise is so important. This is the skill that allows you to stay focused on your dreams, stay confident in your decisions, and stay connected to your purpose. It gives you a clear mind and a strong heart. Blocking out noise begins with understanding that you cannot control what others say. You cannot control how others think, how they judge, or what they believe about your life. People will always talk. They will always have opinions. Some will support you, and some will criticize you. Some will cheer for you, and some will doubt you. This is just how the world works. But their words only hold power when you choose to give them meaning. When you choose not to, their noise fades. Many people struggle with this because they want to be understood. They want approval. They want validation. It is natural to want these things, but depending on them can destroy your confidence. You cannot focus on your dreams if you are constantly trying to please others. You cannot move forward if every decision you make is influenced by someone else's opinion. You cannot grow if you live your life for others. At some point you must decide that your dreams matter more than the noise around you. You must learn to say no to the voices that distract you. Not every voice deserves your attention. Not every person deserves access to your mind. You must learn to protect your mental space like it is something sacred. Because your mind decides your direction. Your mind carries your dreams. Your mind holds your ideas, your strength, your hopes, and your abilities. If you let noise fill that space, your dreams will get drowned. But if you protect your mind, your dreams will grow. One of the biggest sources of noise is comparison. Comparing yourself to others damages your confidence more than almost anything else. When you compare your journey with someone else's, you forget that every path is different. You might look at someone else who seems further ahead and wonder why you're not there yet. You might feel behind or feel like you're not good enough. But comparison is an illusion. You do not see the struggles others faced. You do not see the failures they experienced. You do not see the sacrifices they made. You only see the part they choose to show. Every time you compare, you lose focus on your own growth. You take your eyes off your own journey and place them on someone else's. That is how noise enters your life. You cannot become your best self if you are busy trying to match someone else's life. Your dream has its own timing. Your growth has its own pace. When you stop comparing, you allow yourself to move freely, without pressure. You give yourself permission to grow in your own way. Another form of noise comes from negative people. These are the people who doubt your dreams, discourage your ideas, or tell you that you cannot succeed. They may not always mean harm. Sometimes they say these things because they are afraid. Sometimes they say them because they cannot imagine doing what you want to do. Sometimes they say them because they settled for less and expect you to do the same. But you cannot allow their fear to become your fear. You cannot let their doubts become your doubts. Your life is not theirs, and their limits are not your limits. To block this noise, you must learn not to take it personally. Negative people speak from their own experiences, not from your potential. They judge from what they know, not from what you are capable of becoming. Their words do not define your future. The only thing that defines your future is your belief in yourself and your willingness to work for your dreams. When you understand this, their noise becomes weaker. It becomes background sound instead of something that controls your decisions. Social media is another source of noise. It can easily pull your focus away from yourself. You see people posting their best moments, their achievements, their vacations, their goals, and their success. It can make you feel like you are not doing enough. But remember, social media is not real life. It shows highlights, not struggles. It shows results, not the hard work behind them. When you forget this, noise takes over. But when you remember that everyone is posting their best moments, you stop comparing and regain control of your focus. Blocking out noise also means trusting your intuition. Deep down, you often know what is right for you. You have instincts that guide you. You have feelings that signal what direction to take. But when noise becomes too loud, those inner signals get drowned out. You stop listening to yourself because you are too busy listening to everyone else. Focusing on yourself means trusting that inner voice again. It means believing that you know what is right for your future. When you reconnect with your intuition, clarity returns. Your path becomes visible again. To block out noise effectively, you must create space for silence. Silence is where your thoughts become clear. Silence is where your dreams speak to you. Silence is where your growth begins. Just a few moments of silence each day can help you focus better, think deeper, and stay connected to your goals. It can be sitting alone in your room, walking outside, or simply taking a break from everything. In silence, you meet yourself again. In silence, you hear what truly matters. Another powerful way to block out noise is by strengthening your self-image. When you know who you are, noise loses its power. When you believe in yourself, noise cannot shake you. When you understand your worth, noise cannot control you. People can say whatever they want, but it does not affect you because you are rooted in your own truth. A strong self-image is like armor. It protects you from negativity, doubt, and fear. It keeps you focused on your dreams. You build a strong self-image by keeping promises to yourself. When you say you will do something, and then you do it, your confidence grows. When you commit to improving and follow through, your belief in yourself grows. When you take steps toward your dreams every day, your self-image becomes unshakable. This inner strength is what allows you to block out noise easily. You no longer need approval. You no longer need validation. You understand your path clearly. Blocking out noise also means letting go of the need to explain yourself. You do not owe anyone explanations for your dreams, your decisions, or your goals. You do not need to defend your choices. You do not need to justify your journey. People do not have to understand. They do not have to agree. They do not have to support you. What matters is that you understand, you agree, and you support yourself. This freedom is what strengthens your focus and protects your dreams. When you block out noise, you create room for growth. You give yourself the mental space to think clearly. You give yourself emotional space to believe in your future. You give yourself physical space to work on your dreams without feeling drained by outside pressure. This is how people change their lives. Not by listening to noise, but by learning how to silence it. As noise fades, your dreams become louder. Your goals become clearer. Your purpose becomes stronger. You begin to feel more connected to yourself than ever before. You start making decisions that are true to who you are. You start moving with intention instead of confusion. You start living for yourself instead of others. That is the power of blocking out noise. When you master this skill, you gain control over your life. You stop being pulled in different directions. You stop losing energy to meaningless distractions. You stop caring about opinions that do not matter. You gain peace, confidence, clarity, and direction. You gain the ability to focus on your dreams with full power. This is how you build your future. This is how you rise. This is how you become someone who cannot be distracted or discouraged. When the world gets loud, you stay centered. When people doubt you, you stay steady. When others drift away from their goals, you stay committed to yours. Blocking out noise is not about ignoring the world. It is about giving yourself the space to become who you are meant to be. Chapter 3: Understanding Your Own Path and Purpose. There comes a time in everyone's life when they look around and wonder where they are going. They wonder what their purpose is, what their dreams really mean, and what direction they should move toward. Many people never take the time to understand their own path. They wake up every day, follow the same routine, listen to the expectations of others, and move through life without truly knowing what they want. But focusing on yourself means discovering your own path and understanding the deeper purpose behind your dreams. Your path is something unique. No one else in the world has lived the exact life you've lived. No one else has seen what you've seen, felt what you've felt, or experienced things the way you have. Your journey is shaped by your struggles, your strengths, your hopes, and your choices. When you begin to understand your own path, you begin to realize that you don't need to follow anyone else's timeline or expectations. You only need to follow what feels true to you. Understanding your path starts with paying attention to what matters to you. You must look inward and ask yourself what you truly want. Not what someone else wants for you, not what others think is best, but what you know deep down is meant for you. This can feel scary because it requires honesty. It requires admitting that some things you've been chasing are not really your dreams. It requires admitting that some paths you followed were chosen out of fear or pressure. But when you become honest with yourself, you find clarity. Everyone is born with different gifts and dreams. Some people dream of building something strong. Some dream of helping others. Some dream of exploring the world. Some dream of creating something new. Your dreams are connected to your purpose. They appear in your mind for a reason. They pull you forward, even when you try to ignore them. When you listen closely, you will notice that your dreams are trying to guide you toward the person you are meant to become. But many people lose touch with this inner guidance because they spend too much time trying to fit into the world around them. They adjust themselves to please others. They hide their dreams because they are afraid of judgment. They walk paths that were never meant for them, and over time, they forget what they truly want. This is why focusing on yourself is so important. It allows you to reconnect with your dreams and rediscover your purpose. To understand your path, you must learn to pay attention to what brings you peace and what brings you stress. Your path will never feel peaceful when you are living someone else's dream. You may succeed externally, but inside, something will always feel wrong. Something will feel incomplete. On the other hand, when you move in the direction of your true purpose, something inside you feels aligned. Even if the journey is difficult, your heart feels lighter. Your mind feels clearer. Your spirit feels awake. Understanding your path also requires patience. Your purpose will not always appear clearly at first. You might not always know what your dream is supposed to look like. You might not have all the answers right away. But that's normal. Purpose reveals itself slowly. It grows as you grow. It becomes clearer the more time you spend focusing on yourself. If you rush the process or compare yourself to others, you might miss important signs from your own life. You must allow your path to unfold at its own pace. Self-awareness plays a huge role in discovering your path. You must become aware of your habits, your values, your strengths, and your struggles. You must notice what excites you, what drains you, and what inspires you. People often ignore these signals because they are too busy or too distracted. But when you slow down and pay attention, life begins to show you who you are. Your experiences begin to connect, your interests begin to make sense, your dreams begin to feel more real. Your purpose is not something small or random, it is tied to your gifts. Everyone has talents that make them unique. Some people are good at understanding others. Some are good at creating things. Some are good at solving problems. Some are good at building. Some are good at leading. When you understand your strengths, you understand what you can offer to the world. Your strengths are signs pointing toward your path. Your struggles also reveal your purpose. The things you've overcome, the challenges you've faced, and the pain you've endured have taught you lessons that can guide you forward. Many people try to forget their struggles, but your past experiences are part of your path. They shape you, they make you stronger, they help you understand others and yourself more deeply. When you learn to see your pain as part of your purpose, you stop running from it. You start using it to grow. Another way to understand your path is by learning to trust your curiosity. Curiosity is not random. It points toward areas that matter to your mind and heart. When something keeps pulling your attention, it is worth exploring. Maybe you feel drawn to a certain skill, a dream, or a new direction. Maybe you keep thinking about a goal that scares you. That curiosity is a message. It tells you that part of your purpose may be waiting there. Many people ignore curiosity because it doesn't fit into their current life or because others don't understand it. But your dreams are not supposed to make sense to everyone. They only need to make sense to you. When you chase something that makes you feel alive, you begin walking on your true path. Even if you don't know where it will lead, trust that it is part of your purpose. As you begin to understand your path, you will also notice that some things that once felt important start to fall away. Certain habits no longer feel right. Certain people no longer fit into your life. Certain goals no longer inspire you. This is a sign that you are growing. It is a sign that you are moving closer to your true self. You must allow old parts of your life to fall away so that your new path can become clear. Focusing on yourself helps you separate what is truly yours from what is borrowed. Borrowed dreams come from family, friends, or society. True dreams come from within. Borrowed expectations weigh you down. True purpose lifts you up. Borrowed paths drain your energy. True paths give you strength. When you focus on yourself, you begin to feel the difference. You begin to choose what aligns with your future instead of what pleases others. Understanding your path also means accepting that it will not look like anyone else's. You may start later than others. You may reach your goals earlier. You may face challenges that others don't. You may take detours, pause, restart, or change your direction entirely. All of this is normal. All of this is part of your journey. There is no right or wrong timeline. There is only your timeline. When you accept this, you give yourself permission to grow at your own pace. You will also discover that purpose is not always one big moment. It is often made of small moments that guide you slowly, a conversation that changes your thinking, a book that inspires you, a failure that teaches you, a dream that returns again and again. These moments shape your purpose quietly. When you notice them, you begin to understand why your path looks the way it does. Your path will not always be clear, but it will always make sense in time. Every step, even the ones that feel uncertain, leads you somewhere meaningful. Every challenge teaches you something you needed to learn. Every dream shows you a version of your future. When you combine all of these, your purpose becomes visible. Your life begins to feel like it has direction. Understanding your own path also helps you avoid comparing yourself to others. When you know that your path is unique, you no longer feel the need to match someone else's success or timeline. You stop feeling behind. You stop feeling pressured. Instead, you feel grounded. You feel connected to your life. You feel excited about your next steps because you know they belong to you. This is the gift of focusing on yourself. You stop drifting. You stop guessing. You stop listening to noise. You start paying attention to what your life is telling you. You start noticing signs that were always there but ignored. You start connecting with your dreams on a deeper level. You begin to understand the meaning behind your experiences. You begin to see your purpose unfold. Your path is not random. Your dreams are not random. The thoughts that keep returning to you, the ideas that excite you, the goals that scare you, the experiences that shaped you, the challenges that strengthened you, all of these form the map of your life. When you learn to read that map, you find clarity, and when you find clarity, you move with confidence. Understanding your path is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, because once you understand it, you no longer feel lost. You no longer chase things that aren't meant for you. You no longer live for others. You live for yourself, with focus, with purpose, and with determination. And that is how your dreams begin to rise. Chapter 4: Protecting your energy and creating space for growth. There comes a moment when you realize that your energy is one of the most valuable things you have. Maybe you didn't notice before. Maybe you spent years giving your energy to everyone and everything without thinking about what it was doing to you. But as you start focusing on yourself and your dreams, you begin to understand something important. Not everything deserves your energy, and not everyone deserves access to your mind and heart. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary for growth. Your energy shapes your day, it shapes your decisions, it shapes your thoughts. When your energy is drained, your dreams feel farther away. Even small tasks feel heavy. But when your energy is protected, you feel lighter, you feel clearer, you feel motivated, you feel like you can move forward without being held back. That is why protecting your energy is one of the most important parts of focusing on yourself. Energy gets drained in many ways. Sometimes it comes from people who expect too much from you. Sometimes it comes from responsibilities that don't match your goals. Sometimes it comes from your own habits that pull you away from growth. You don't always notice it happening. You just wake up one day feeling tired, unmotivated, or confused. You feel lost without knowing why. That feeling is a sign that your energy is being pulled in too many directions. The first step in protecting your energy is understanding who or what is draining it. You must pay attention to how you feel around certain people. Some people lift you up. They make you feel inspired, supported, and understood. Others pull you down. They drain your motivation. They make you second-guess yourself. They bring negativity or chaos into your life. When you begin focusing on yourself, you become more aware of this difference. You start noticing how your energy rises with some people and drops with others. Protecting your energy means being honest about who belongs in your life and who doesn't. This is not easy. Sometimes the people who drain your energy are people you care about. But caring about someone does not mean allowing them to stop your growth. You can love someone and still choose not to let them influence your choices. You can care about someone and still decide to distance yourself from their negativity. You are not responsible for fixing everyone. You are responsible for protecting your own growth. There will always be people who doubt your dreams, people who criticize, people who create drama, people who bring stress, people who expect you to give more than you can, people who don't understand your journey because they never tried to grow themselves. Protecting your energy means recognizing these people and choosing not to let their behavior control your life. It means creating boundaries that protect your peace. Boundaries are not walls, they are lines that keep your energy safe. Boundaries help you say no without guilt. They help you stay focused. They help you choose what deserves your time. When you don't set boundaries, people begin to take advantage of your kindness. They take more and more until you have nothing left for yourself. Boundaries are how you take your power back. Another thing that drains your energy is trying to solve problems that are not yours. Many people carry burdens that don't belong to them. They take responsibility for other people's emotions, mistakes, or failures. They try to fix situations that they didn't create. But you cannot grow if you are always carrying someone else's weight. You must learn to let people handle their own lives. You can support people without sacrificing your energy. Protecting your energy also means taking control of your environment. Your environment is not just where you live. It is everything around you. It is your home, your workspace, your habits, your lifestyle, and the things you consume. If your environment is full of noise, chaos, or distractions, your mind becomes overwhelmed. You lose focus. You lose direction. But when your environment is peaceful and organized, your mind becomes clearer. You feel more capable of growing. Sometimes you need to make changes to your environment. Maybe your room needs to be cleaned. Maybe you need to remove things that remind you of old habits. Maybe you need to delete apps that distract you. Maybe you need to put physical space between yourself and the things that drain your energy. These changes may seem small, but they make a big difference. When you create a space that supports your growth, your energy naturally rises. Another way your energy gets drained is by saying yes to things that don't align with your goals. People often say yes out of fear, guilt, or pressure. They say yes because they don't want to disappoint others. They say yes because they want to be liked. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you are saying no to your dreams. Protecting your energy means learning to say no with confidence. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to feel guilty. Saying no is an act of self-respect. Your energy is also affected by your thoughts. Negative thoughts drain you quickly. Thoughts like "I'm not good enough," "I'm too late," or "I can't do this" weaken your confidence. They make your dreams feel unreachable. Protecting your energy means protecting your mind. It means stopping yourself when negative thoughts appear. It means replacing those thoughts with beliefs that help you grow. Your mind is your strongest tool. When you protect it, everything in your life improves. Protecting your energy also means limiting the time you spend on things that distract you. Many people waste hours scrolling through social media, watching random videos, or engaging in pointless conversations. These things drain your focus without giving you anything in return. You don't have to quit everything, but you must be aware of how much time and energy you are giving away. When you limit distractions, you gain more space for your goals. Your energy grows when you take care of yourself. Self-care is not just about rest. It is about doing what helps you become stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally. It can be reading something inspiring, taking a walk, relaxing your mind, learning something new, or spending time alone. Alone time is important because it allows you to recharge. It gives you space to think, dream, and reconnect with your purpose. Many people feel uncomfortable being alone, but solitude is powerful. When you spend time alone, you begin to understand your own thoughts without interruption. You hear your dreams more clearly. You recognize what you need. You learn to trust yourself. Protecting your energy often means choosing solitude over noise, reflection over distraction, and peace over drama. Another important part of protecting your energy is forgiving yourself. People hold on to past mistakes and carry them like heavy bags. These regrets drain energy. They make you doubt yourself. They keep you stuck. Protecting your energy means letting go of what you can't change. You made decisions based on who you were at the time. Now you are growing. Now you are learning. You deserve to move forward without holding yourself back. You must also protect your energy from fear. Fear stops you from taking risks. Fear stops you from trying new things. Fear makes your dreams look bigger than they really are. But when you protect your energy, you learn to face fear instead of letting it control you. You learn to take small steps even when you're scared. You learn that courage grows the more you use it. When fear loses power, your dreams feel closer. Protecting your energy is also about understanding that not everyone will come with you on your journey. Some people are meant to stay in your past. Some are meant to be temporary. Some are lessons. Some are blessings. You cannot carry everyone with you. If you try, you will lose your strength. You must protect your energy by choosing who you allow into your life. Choose people who support your growth, not those who slow it down. Growth requires energy. Dreams require energy. Change requires energy. When your energy is scattered, you move slowly. When your energy is directed, you move far. Protecting your energy gives you the strength to keep going, even when the journey gets hard. It helps you stay focused when distractions appear. It gives you mental clarity when challenges arise. It allows you to rise instead of crumble. When you protect your energy, you begin to feel different. You wake up with a clear mind. You feel more in control of your day. You feel less stressed and more grounded. You start saying yes to things that matter and no to things that don't. You make decisions based on what helps you grow, not based on pressure or fear. You feel lighter because you are no longer carrying unnecessary weight. This is how growth happens. Not by doing everything, but by protecting the things that matter. Not by giving your energy to everyone, but by choosing where your energy goes. When your energy is protected, your focus becomes stronger, your dreams become clearer, your path becomes easier to see. Protecting your energy is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, because once your energy is safe, your dreams finally found the room they need to grow. Chapter 5. Building discipline. When motivation disappears. There is a moment in everyone's journey when motivation fades. At the beginning, everything feels exciting. You feel inspired. You feel ready to change your life. You feel full of energy. But as days go by, that excitement slowly fades. You wake up one morning and the drive you once felt is gone. You feel tired or distracted. You want to take a break. You tell yourself you will try again tomorrow. And then one day becomes another. And slowly your dream starts to slip away. This happens to everyone. Motivation is not something you can rely on forever. It comes and goes like waves. Some days you feel unstoppable, and some days you want to quit. If your growth depends only on motivation, you will never reach your full potential. That is why discipline becomes so important. Discipline is what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Discipline is what pushes you forward even when you don't feel like doing anything. Discipline may not feel exciting, but it is one of the strongest tools you have. It is what helps you stay on your path, even when your emotions change. It is what turns your dreams into reality. You may not always feel motivated, but you can always choose discipline. Building discipline begins with understanding why you started in the first place. Your dream has a purpose behind it. There is a reason you want the life you imagine. There is a reason this dream matters to you. When motivation fades, return to that reason. Remind yourself of the life you want to create. Remind yourself of the person you want to become. When you reconnect with your purpose, discipline becomes easier. Discipline also grows through small actions. Many people think discipline means doing something big or extreme, but discipline is built through tiny steps you repeat every day. The small habits, the small choices, the small promises you keep to yourself. These actions may feel simple, but they are powerful. When you show up every day, even in little ways, you strengthen your discipline. One of the easiest ways to build discipline is to start with short tasks. Instead of trying to do everything at once, begin with something small. If your dream is to learn a skill, practice for 10 minutes a day. If your dream is to get healthier, take a short walk. If your dream is to read more, read a few pages. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to train your brain to show up consistently. Once the habit is built, you can increase the effort. Many people fail because they try to make big changes overnight. They try to push themselves too hard, too quickly. That leads to burnout. That leads to frustration. That leads to quitting. But when you build discipline slowly, it becomes something you can maintain for life. Another part of discipline is removing temptations. If something distracts you, make it harder to reach. If something pulls your attention away from your goals, create distance from it. Your environment affects your discipline more than you realize. A clean space, a quiet room, or a set schedule can make a huge difference. When you make things easier for your future self, discipline feels natural instead of forced. One of the biggest challenges in building discipline is dealing with your own mind. Your mind will try to convince you to stop. It will say things like, "I can do it later," or "I don't feel like it today," or "one day off won't hurt." But discipline begins when you learn to ignore these excuses. You don't need to argue with them. You just need to move anyway. This is where true strength comes from. There will be days when your mind tries to talk you out of your progress. Days when fear or doubt becomes loud. Days when comfort feels better than growth. On those days, discipline is your anchor. It holds you steady. It reminds you that your feelings are temporary, but your dream is worth the effort. A powerful part of discipline is learning to do things even when the results are not visible yet. Many people get discouraged when they don't see progress immediately. But growth is quiet at first. You don't always see changes happening on the outside, but something is happening on the inside. Your habits are becoming stronger. Your mindset is becoming tougher. Your focus is sharpening. Discipline is shaping you, even when you can't see it. You must trust this slow progress. Every day you show up, you are building a version of yourself that is stronger than the day before. Even on the days when you feel tired. Even on the days when you feel unsure. Even on the days when things are not going smoothly. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about showing up again and again. Another important part of discipline is learning to break promises to others only when necessary, but never breaking promises to yourself. You are building trust with yourself every time you stay disciplined. When you say you will do something and you follow through, your confidence grows. You begin to believe in your own ability. You begin to rely on yourself. You begin to feel strong. But when you break promises to yourself repeatedly, you lose trust in your own word. You make your goals feel less real. Discipline rebuilds that trust. Some people think discipline is about being strict or harsh, but real discipline comes from care. You care about your dream enough to keep going. You care about your future enough to stay committed. You care about your growth enough to sacrifice temporary comfort. This type of discipline is gentle but powerful. It does not come from pressure. It comes from love for yourself. As you build discipline, you begin to notice changes in your life. Things that once felt difficult begin to feel normal. Habits that once felt heavy begin to feel natural. Tasks that once required motivation become automatic. This is the power of discipline. It transforms you slowly. Then all at once, you also begin to feel more in control. Without discipline, life feels chaotic. You drift without direction. You feel controlled by your emotions. But with discipline, you take your power back. You decide your actions instead of letting your feelings decide for you. You guide your life instead of letting circumstances guide it. This control gives you peace. Discipline teaches you patience. It teaches you how to keep going, even when the finish line is far away. It teaches you how to stay steady, even when progress is slow. It teaches you how to believe in your long-term vision. Many people quit because they expect quick results, but disciplined people understand that great things take time. They understand that the journey is part of the process. They understand that small steps lead to big changes. Discipline is also connected to your identity. When you act with discipline, you begin to see yourself differently. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who stays committed, someone who finishes what they start. This identity shift is powerful. When you believe you are disciplined, you naturally act disciplined. You also begin to notice that discipline makes you more confident. Confidence does not come from talent or luck. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. It comes from doing what you said you would do. It comes from knowing that you are capable of consistency. Confidence grows every time you push through discomfort. Another thing discipline teaches you is how to handle setbacks. Everyone faces setbacks. Everyone fails at some point. But disciplined people do not give up when things go wrong. They adjust, restart, and keep moving. They don't see setbacks as the end of their journey. They see them as part of it. This mindset makes them unstoppable. Discipline also helps you build a strong relationship with yourself. You begin to understand your patterns. You begin to understand your weaknesses. You begin to understand your strength. You begin to understand what you need to grow. This self-understanding becomes one of your greatest advantages. Protecting your discipline is just as important as building it. Once you start creating good habits, you must guard them. You must watch out for old habits that try to pull you back. You must protect your routines. You must protect your progress. Growth requires effort, but maintaining that growth requires discipline. This is where many people fail. They start strong, but they don't protect their progress. You must guard it with intention. You may not see it now, but discipline is shaping your future. Every effort you make today creates opportunities tomorrow. Every time you push through resistance, you become stronger. Every time you choose discipline, you choose your dream. Motivation will always rise and fall, but discipline stays. Discipline carries you when motivation disappears. Discipline builds the life you want. Discipline makes your dream real, and the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Chapter 6. Becoming the person who deserves the life you want. There is a secret that many people never learn. They want a better life, but they do not work on becoming the person who deserves that life. They dream of success, but stay the same. They want confidence without facing fear. They want growth without discomfort. They want opportunities without preparation. They want results without change. But the truth is simple. You cannot step into a new life while staying the same version of yourself. Your dream requires a better you. When you focus on yourself, you begin to understand that your future depends on who you become, not on what you wish for, not on what others think, not on luck, but on your growth, your actions, your habits, your mindset, and your discipline. Your dream has a price, and that price is the effort you invest into becoming your best self. Becoming that person starts with honesty. You must be honest about where you are right now, honest about your weaknesses, honest about your habits, honest about your mistakes, honest about what is holding you back. Many people avoid this honesty because it feels uncomfortable. They prefer to blame others. They prefer to make excuses. But excuses do not build the life you want. Honesty does. When you face the truth, you gain the power to change. As you become honest with yourself, you will notice areas of your life that need improvement. Maybe you struggle with discipline. Maybe you procrastinate. Maybe you doubt yourself. Maybe you compare too much. Maybe you let fear control you. These things are not flaws, they are places where you can grow. The person you want to become is not perfect. They are someone who improves every day. Becoming the person who deserves your dream requires you to develop habits that match the life you want. If you want a stronger mind, you must practice focus. If you want a healthier body, you must build healthy routines. If you want success, you must show up consistently. If you want confidence, you must take action even when you are scared. Your dream is not something far away. It is built by the habits you create today. Many people want a life that their current habits cannot support. They want success, but their habits are shaped by comfort. They want progress, but their habits are shaped by laziness. They want confidence, but their habits are shaped by fear. If your habits do not support the life you want, you must change them. Change does not happen overnight. It grows slowly. It grows through small actions repeated daily. But those small actions eventually transform you. You do not need to change everything at once. You only need to change one small thing at a time. Replace one bad habit with one good habit. Improve one part of your routine. Take one step toward your dream. These small changes stack together. They create a new version of you, and this new version gets closer to your dream every day. Becoming the person who deserves your dream also requires discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. Discipline teaches you how to keep going when you don't feel motivated. It teaches you how to face discomfort instead of running away. It teaches you how to stay focused when distractions appear. Discipline shapes your character. It makes you stronger than your excuses. As you build discipline, you begin to trust yourself more. You begin to see yourself as someone capable of change. You begin to feel proud of your efforts. This pride gives you energy. It helps you stay committed. It reminds you that you are capable of doing hard things. Every time you follow through, you become closer to the version of yourself who deserves your dream. Another important part of becoming that person is improving your mindset. Your mindset is the foundation of your actions. If your mindset is weak, your actions will be weak. If your mindset is strong, your actions will be strong. A strong mindset does not mean you never feel doubt or fear. It means you keep moving anyway. It means you believe that growth is possible. It means you believe that your dream is worth the effort. To strengthen your mindset, you must challenge your negative thoughts. When your mind says you are not good enough, you must answer it with action. When your mind says you cannot change, you must prove it wrong by changing a little every day. Your mindset grows through practice. It grows by choosing belief over doubt. It grows by choosing courage over fear. It grows by choosing effort over comfort. Becoming the person who deserves your dream also means improving how you speak to yourself. Your inner voice matters. It affects the way you act. It affects the way you see your future. Many people destroy their confidence with harsh self-talk. They criticize themselves for every mistake. They doubt themselves before they even try. They talk themselves out of opportunities. You cannot build a better life if your inner voice tears you down. You must learn to speak to yourself with patience, encouragement, and strength. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to someone you want to see succeed. Support yourself. Encourage yourself. Show yourself kindness. You are not weak for needing this. You are human. And humans grow when they are supported, even when that support comes from themselves. Becoming the person who deserves your dream also requires you to let go of behaviors that no longer match your future. Some habits, fears, relationships, and mindsets will not fit the life you want. Holding on to them will only hold you back. Growth often requires letting go of old stories, old excuses, old patterns, old identities. You cannot become your future self while holding on to your past self. You must release what no longer serves you. Letting go is not easy. It takes courage. It takes trust. It takes faith in yourself. But every time you let go of something that holds you back, you make space for something better. You make space for growth. You make space for opportunity. You make space for your dream. Another part of becoming that person is learning responsibility. You must take responsibility for your choices, your actions, and your outcomes. Many people avoid responsibility because it feels heavy, but responsibility gives you control. When you accept responsibility, you stop blaming others. You stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop making excuses. You understand that your dream depends on you, and that realization empowers you. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything. It means recognizing that your future is in your hands. You cannot control everything, but you can control your effort. You can control your actions. You can control your habits. You can control your growth. When you take responsibility, you take power. Another important part of becoming the person who deserves your dream is consistency. You cannot grow if you only work on yourself once in a while. You must show up every day, even in small ways. Consistency builds identity. Identity builds confidence. Confidence builds action. Action builds your future. Consistency is what makes change permanent. There will be days when you don't feel like growing. Days when you want to rest. Days when you lose focus. Days when you question everything. That is normal. But even on those days, you can take one small step, one small effort, one small action. Growth does not require perfection. It requires persistence. As you become more consistent, you begin to notice small improvements. You think more clearly. You act more confidently. You feel more grounded. These improvements may seem small at first, but they become powerful over time. Small improvements build a strong foundation. This foundation supports the life you want to create. Becoming the person who deserves your dream also means building patience. Your dream will not come overnight. Growth takes time. Change takes time. Success takes time. If you rush the process, you will get discouraged. But when you build patience, you understand that every day of effort brings you closer. You begin to trust the journey. You stop expecting quick results. You focus on becoming better rather than becoming perfect. Patience gives you emotional strength. It helps you stay calm when things move slowly. It helps you stay steady when challenges appear. It helps you enjoy the process instead of only chasing the result. You must also learn resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back when things go wrong. You will face failures, you will face setbacks, you will face moments of doubt, but resilience helps you stand up again. It reminds you that one bad day does not erase your progress, one mistake does not define you, one challenge does not end your journey. Resilience turns obstacles into lessons. It turns fear into courage. It turns difficulty into growth. Becoming the person who deserves your dream is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the strongest version of yourself. The version who shows up, the version who believes, the version who acts, the version who grows, the version who does not give up. This person already exists inside you. You are not trying to create someone new. You are trying to uncover the person you have always been capable of becoming, the person your dream is waiting for. Every step you take toward growth brings you closer to this version of yourself. Every habit you improve, every fear you face, every excuse you release, every effort you make, all of it builds the person who can handle the life you want. Your dream is not too big. You are not too late. You are not too far behind. You simply need to grow into the person who can carry that dream, and you are capable of doing that. Step by step, day by day, choice by choice, effort by effort. And when you become that person, your dream will feel natural in your hands. Chapter 7. Detaching from validation and learning to approve yourself. There is a quiet shift that happens inside you. The day you stop needing validation from others. For most of your life, you grow up waiting for approval. You wait for someone to tell you that you are doing well. You wait for someone to say that you are good enough. You wait for someone to notice your effort. You wait for someone to tell you that your dreams make sense. This need for validation becomes part of your habits. You may not even notice how much power you give away. But when you start focusing on yourself, you begin to see the truth. Seeking approval from others can hold you back from becoming your best self. People often look for validation because they want to feel accepted. They want to feel supported. They want to feel seen. This is natural. We are human, and humans want connection. But when your self-worth depends on what others think, you lose control over your life. You let their opinions guide your choices. You let their reactions shape your confidence. You let their judgment decide your future. When this happens, your dreams become weaker because they were never built on your own approval. They were built on someone else's. Detaching from validation begins with understanding that no one knows your life the way you do. No one has your vision. No one carries your purpose. No one feels your dreams the way you feel them. People will form opinions without understanding your heart. They will judge your choices without knowing your story. They will question your path without seeing the future you see. When you rely on their approval, you give them control over a life they don't fully understand. You must learn to give yourself the approval you've been searching for. Instead of asking others if your dream is good enough, you must tell yourself that it is. Instead of waiting for someone to say you are capable, you must believe that you are. Instead of looking for acceptance from others, you must accept yourself. This is the beginning of self-ownership. It is the beginning of real confidence. It is the beginning of independence. When you learn to approve yourself, you stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop shrinking your dreams so others feel comfortable. You stop dimming your light so others don't feel intimidated. You stop asking for permission to grow. You begin to stand tall in your own identity. You begin to trust your judgment. You begin to follow your path with clarity. One of the biggest obstacles to detaching from validation is fear. The fear of being judged. The fear of failing publicly. The fear of disappointing others. The fear of looking foolish. But these fears control you only if you give them power. People will judge you no matter what you do. If you stay the same, they judge. If you grow, they judge. If you try, they judge. If you stop trying, they judge. So if judgment is unavoidable, why not choose to live for yourself? When you stop fearing judgment, a sense of freedom appears. You begin to take action without hesitating. You begin to explore new ideas. You begin to try things that once scared you. You begin to express yourself without holding back. Judgment loses its power because you no longer seek approval from those who cannot live your life for you. Approval seeking also makes you fragile. When someone approves of you, you feel good. When they don't, you feel discouraged. Your emotions rise and fall based on someone else's reaction. But when you detach from validation, you become emotionally strong. Your confidence stays stable. Your motivation stays steady. Your mood is not controlled by someone else's opinion. You build your own foundation, and no one can shake it. To detach from validation, you must learn to ask yourself new questions. Instead of asking, "Will people like this?" you ask, "Does this feel true to me?" Instead of asking, "Will they approve?" you ask, "Do I approve of myself?" Instead of asking, "Will they think I'm good enough?" you ask, "Am I proud of my effort?" These questions shift your focus inward. They teach you to evaluate your life based on your own standards, not someone else's. You also begin to see that approval is often temporary. People support you when it benefits them. People encourage you when it's easy. People praise you when you succeed. But when your dreams challenge their comfort, their approval fades. When your success grows, their support may disappear. When you outgrow their expectations, you might lose their validation. This is why you cannot depend on it. Anything that can be taken away is not stable enough to build your future on. Your approval must come from within. It must come from knowing that you are trying your best. It must come from trusting your path. It must come from loving yourself enough to grow even when others do not understand. When your confidence is built on your own approval, it becomes unbreakable. Learning to approve yourself means learning to appreciate your progress. Too often, people wait for someone else to applaud them before they feel proud. But you don't need applause to recognize your growth. You don't need applause to continue evolving. You don't need applause to keep going. Start noticing your small victories. Start recognizing your effort. Start appreciating your strength. Approval begins with you noticing your own worth. You must also learn to forgive yourself. Seeking validation often comes from fear of making mistakes. People avoid taking risks because they fear being judged if they fail. But mistakes are part of growth. They help you learn. They make you stronger. They shape your character. You cannot grow if you are trying to be perfect. You must accept that you will make mistakes, and you must forgive yourself when you do. This is how you become less dependent on external approval. Detaching from validation also means learning to enjoy your own company. When you enjoy being alone, you no longer need constant reassurance. You no longer feel empty when no one is watching. You no longer feel lost when others don't give attention. You find comfort in your own thoughts. You find peace in your own presence. You find strength in your own identity. This independence makes you powerful. There will be people who misunderstand your growth. They might think you are selfish because you stopped seeking their approval. They might think you are distant because you are focusing on yourself. They might feel insecure because you no longer depend on them, but their reactions are not your responsibility. When you detach from validation, you will outgrow certain relationships. This is natural. As you rise, not everyone can rise with you. Some people liked you more when you doubted yourself. Some people felt comfortable when you needed their approval. Some people enjoyed having control over your emotions. But when you become independent, when you approve of yourself, you break those chains. You become harder to manipulate. You become harder to discourage. You become harder to influence. You become stronger. Detaching from validation also means learning to stand firm in your choices. People may disagree with your decisions. They may question your direction. They may not see your vision. But you cannot live your life trying to convince everyone. You cannot build your future based on someone else's doubts. You must trust yourself enough to follow through, even in silence. Even when no one cheers, even when no one understands. When you detach from validation, your progress becomes faster. You stop wasting time trying to please everyone. You stop trying to make everyone happy. You stop hesitating because of opinions. You stop overthinking every choice. You start acting. You start growing. You start living with purpose. Your dream becomes clearer because it is no longer filtered through someone else's expectations. Your decisions become stronger because they are based on your inner truth. Your path becomes easier to follow because you are no longer pulled in different directions by others. Detaching from validation does not mean you isolate yourself. It does not mean you reject advice. It does not mean you stop caring about people. It means you learn to value your own voice above all others. It means you learn to trust yourself deeply. It means you become confident in your own identity. Approving yourself does not happen overnight. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes courage. There will be moments when you slip back into old habits, moments when you seek reassurance, moments when you doubt yourself. That is normal. That is part of growth. But each time you catch yourself, you become stronger. Each time you turn inward for approval, you grow. Each time you choose yourself, your confidence rises. When you finally approve yourself, you unlock a new level of freedom. You no longer feel controlled by the world. You no longer feel pressured to perform for others. You no longer feel afraid of judgment. You begin to live for yourself. You begin to breathe more deeply. You begin to walk with confidence. You begin to speak with clarity. You begin to shine in a way that is natural and powerful. And the world notices, not because you asked for approval, but because you no longer need it. Chapter 8. Learning to trust your own decisions without fear. There comes a point in your life when you must make decisions on your own, not because someone told you to, not because you want to impress someone, not because you fear judgment, but because you trust yourself enough to choose your own path. Many people struggle with this. They doubt themselves. They worry about making mistakes. They fear choosing the wrong direction, so they avoid decisions, or they hand their power to others. But if you want to focus on yourself and build the life you dream of, you must learn to trust your own decisions. Trusting yourself does not mean you always know the right answer. It means you believe in your ability to handle whatever happens. It means you believe you can learn, adjust, and grow. It means you stop depending on others to guide your life. You take responsibility. You take ownership. You choose with confidence, and you move forward even when the outcome is uncertain. Self-doubt often begins early. You are taught to look to others for approval. You are told what to do, how to do it, and why it matters. Over time, you learn to rely on outside voices. You begin to think that others know better. Even when your heart pulls you in a different direction, you ignore it because you fear being wrong. But this habit keeps you from discovering your true path. If you always follow the decisions of others, you never learn what your own potential looks like. Your life will feel limited as long as you fear choosing for yourself. You will feel stuck between what you want and what others expect. You will feel confused because your inner voice becomes quiet from lack of use. But when you start trusting your own decisions, something powerful happens. Your inner voice grows stronger. You begin to feel grounded. You begin to feel aware of who you are. You begin to walk with intention instead of hesitation. Trusting yourself begins with listening. You must learn to listen to your own thoughts. Listen to what feels right. Listen to what feels wrong. Listen to the feelings that rise when you think about your future. These feelings are not random. They are signals. They are your intuition. Your intuition is not loud. It does not shout. It speaks quietly. When you stop seeking validation from others, you finally hear it. Sometimes trusting yourself means choosing a path that others don't understand. People might question you. They might warn you. They might doubt you, but their doubts come from their own fears. Their warnings come from their own experiences. Their opinions come from their own lives. None of it is your truth. You must understand that people judge based on what they know, not what you are capable of. Your dream may be too big for them to imagine, but it is not too big for you. When you trust yourself, you begin to realize that mistakes are not the enemy. Many people fear mistakes because they think one wrong decision will ruin everything, but mistakes are part of growth. You learn more from one mistake than from 10 moments of perfection. Mistakes reveal what works and what doesn't. They shape your judgment. They make you wiser. They make your next decision stronger. If you fear mistakes, you will avoid the very experiences that would help you grow. Every successful person has made countless mistakes. They learned through trying. They trusted themselves even when they were unsure. They believed that progress required action, not perfection. They chose to trust their decisions, and that trust carried them forward. You must allow yourself the same freedom. You must give yourself permission to choose, to try, and to learn. Another important part of trusting yourself is learning to separate fear from intuition. Fear tries to stop you. It tries to keep you in your comfort zone. It tries to convince you that change is dangerous. But intuition guides you. It pushes you toward growth. It whispers to you when something is right for you. Fear is loud and anxious. Intuition is quiet and steady. When you feel unsure, slow down and listen. Ask yourself what the feeling is trying to tell you. Over time, you will learn to recognize the difference. Trust also grows through action. You cannot build trust in yourself by thinking about decisions. You build it by making decisions. Even small choices strengthen trust. Each time you choose for yourself, you prove that you are capable. Each time you follow through, your confidence increases. Each time you act, you step deeper into your own identity. Trust grows the same way a muscle grows. You will notice that trusting yourself feels uncomfortable at first. You are stepping into unfamiliar territory. You are leaving behind the habit of relying on others. You are challenging your old fears. But discomfort is not a sign that you are wrong. It is a sign that you are growing. You cannot expand your life without stepping into some discomfort. The more you trust yourself, the more comfortable it becomes. Sometimes you will make decisions that others disagree with. That is okay. Your decisions do not need approval. They need alignment with your own heart. As long as you choose based on your truth, your dream, and your future, you are making the right decision for yourself. Others may not see the full picture. They may not understand your reasons. They may not share your vision. But that does not mean your choice is wrong. It simply means your path is different. When you trust yourself, you stop asking endless questions like, what if I fail? Or what if people judge me? Instead, you begin asking, what if this changes my life? Or what if I become stronger through this? You shift your mind from fear to possibility. This shift unlocks new levels of courage. It helps you step into experiences you once avoided. It helps you grow faster than you ever have before. You also learn to accept that you cannot predict everything. No decision comes with guaranteed results. Life is full of unknowns, but that is what makes it exciting. When you trust yourself, you stop waiting for certainty. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop waiting for the perfect answer. You begin moving forward with faith in your ability to adapt. You trust that even if things go differently than planned, you can handle it. A powerful part of trusting yourself is learning to protect your peace. When you trust your decisions, you no longer argue with yourself. You no longer feel lost. You no longer feel lost. You no longer overthink every choice. Your mind feels calmer. You become more focused. You feel more in control. This inner peace allows you to grow faster because your energy is no longer wasted on self-doubt. Another part of trusting yourself is knowing when to walk away from something that no longer aligns with your path. Many people stay in situations that hurt them because they fear making the wrong choice. They stay in friendships that drain them. They stay in habits that slow their growth. They stay in environments that limit their dreams. Trusting yourself means recognizing when something is no longer good for you. It means choosing your future over your comfort. Each time you walk away from what no longer serves you, you become stronger. You learn that you can create better things. You learn that you can rebuild. You learn that your life does not end when you let go. Trusting yourself also means knowing that you are allowed to change your mind. Your decisions grow as you grow. What felt right last year may not feel right today. That does not mean you failed. It means you evolved. People often stay stuck because they fear changing direction. But your dream will feel clearer as you grow. Your decisions will improve with experience. Allow yourself to evolve without guilt. You must also learn to stay committed to your decisions. Trusting yourself does not mean jumping from one idea to the next. It means choosing with intention and following through. Commitment creates progress. Progress builds confidence. Confidence strengthens trust. It becomes a cycle that lifts you toward your dream. Self-trust also grows when you stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison blinds you. It makes you think someone else's path is better. It makes you question your own decisions. But comparison is based on surface-level views. You only see what others allow you to see. You do not see their doubts, their struggles, or their mistakes. When you stop comparing, your decisions become clearer. You begin to choose based on what you want, not on what someone else has. You also learn to trust yourself by taking responsibility. When you blame others for your outcomes, you weaken your confidence. You tell yourself that life controls you. But when you take responsibility, you take back your power. You learn from each choice. You grow from each result. Responsibility makes you stronger because it teaches you that you are in charge of your life. One of the most important parts of self-trust is learning to celebrate your courage. Even if a decision does not lead to the result you expected, the act of choosing for yourself is powerful. It means you are growing. It means you are learning. It means you are becoming your own leader. Celebrate the fact that you tried. Celebrate the fact that you trusted yourself enough to act. Self-trust is a journey. It builds slowly, then suddenly becomes natural. In the beginning, every decision feels heavy. Every choice feels risky. But as you grow, you begin to trust yourself the same way you trust someone who has never let you down. You begin to feel confident in your own voice. You begin to see your abilities clearly. You begin to understand that you are capable of guiding your own life. When you trust yourself, your dream becomes more reachable. Not because the path becomes easy, but because you become strong. You become steady. You become committed. You become the kind of person who can handle challenges and still move forward. You become someone who acts with purpose instead of fear. And the moment you trust yourself fully, the world around you begins to change. Opportunities appear because you are no longer afraid to pursue them. People respect you because you carry yourself with confidence. Your dream grows because you are finally giving it what it needs. A person who believes in their own choices. Self-trust is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Because once you learn to trust your decisions, nothing can stop you from becoming who you were meant to be. Chapter 9. Letting go of the past, so you can step into your future. There is a moment in life when you realize that the past is heavier than you thought. You carry old memories, old mistakes, old fears, and old hurts without even noticing the weight. You move through life with experiences that shaped you, but no longer help you. Some memories give you strength, but many others hold you back. If you want to focus on yourself and your dreams, you must learn to let go of the past. Not to erase it, not to forget it, but to stop allowing it to control your future. The past has a way of influencing your thoughts. You might still feel embarrassed about something you did years ago. You might still hear the voice of someone who doubted you. You might still remember a moment when you failed. You might still hold on to a time when someone hurt you. These memories stay in your mind, and even when you think you've moved on, they can show up in your choices and in your fears. This is why letting go is so important. You cannot create a new life while holding on to old pain. Letting go does not mean pretending nothing happened. It means accepting that it happened and choosing to move forward anyway. It means understanding that the past cannot be changed, but your future can. It means realizing that every mistake, every heartbreak, and every setback taught you something, but it does not define who you are now. You are not the same person you were back then. You have grown, you have learned, you have survived, and now you have the right to step into a new version of your life. Many people stay stuck in the past because they replay the same moments over and over. They think about what they could have said or done. They imagine different outcomes. They blame themselves. They blame others. They question their worth because of things that happened long ago. But the past cannot hurt you unless you keep feeding it with your attention. When you stop replaying it, its power fades. When you stop reliving it, your mind becomes lighter. One of the hardest parts of letting go is forgiving yourself. You may still feel guilty about choices you made. You may still feel ashamed of mistakes. You may still regret missed opportunities. But you must understand something important. You did the best you could with the knowledge you had at the time. You were learning. You were growing. You were trying to make sense of life. Holding on to guilt only keeps you stuck. You cannot punish yourself into becoming better. You can only grow through understanding. Self-forgiveness is not about ignoring the past. It is about releasing the weight of it. When you forgive yourself, you allow yourself to heal. You open space for new beginnings. You give yourself permission to become the person you want to be. You deserve that. You deserve to let go of the burden you have been carrying. Letting go also means forgiving others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. Holding on to anger or resentment drains your energy. It keeps your heart heavy. It keeps your mind distracted. It keeps you from focusing on your dream. Forgiving someone does not mean what they did was okay. It means you will no longer allow their actions to control your emotions. It means you choose freedom over bitterness. It means you choose peace over pain. The past can also hold you back through fear. When you fail once, you fear failing again. When you get hurt once, you fear getting hurt again. When people laugh at you once, you fear trying again. These fears are memories trying to protect you, but they also limit you. They create walls between you and your future. If you want to grow, you must let go of fear, not by ignoring it, but by walking through it. Each time you face it, it becomes smaller. Each time you push forward, your courage grows. Another part of letting go is accepting that some people from your past are not meant to be in your future. Not everyone grows with you. Some people only fit the person you used to be. If you try to take everyone with you, you will slow yourself down. You cannot hold on to relationships that no longer support your growth. You cannot stay connected to people who drain your energy. Letting go of people is painful, but it is necessary for your evolution. When the wrong people leave your life, the right ones have room to enter. Letting go also means releasing old identities. Maybe you once saw yourself as someone who always failed. Maybe you believed you were not good enough. Maybe you believed you were weak or not smart. These beliefs came from past experiences, not from your true potential. You must let go of who you used to think you were. You are not that person anymore. You have grown. You have changed. You have gained strength. Do not let an old version of yourself control your future. To let go of the past, you must focus on the present. The present is where your power is. The present is where you make decisions. The present is where you take action. The present is where your dreams begin. When your mind is stuck in the past, you cannot see opportunities that are right in front of you. But when you bring your attention back to now, your life begins to move forward again. Letting go also requires patience. You cannot release everything at once. Some days you will feel free, other days memories will return. That does not mean you are failing. Healing is not a straight line. It is a slow process of choosing your future over your past again and again. Each time you choose to let go, you grow stronger. Sometimes letting go means letting yourself feel the emotions you avoided. You may need to cry. You may need to grieve. You may need to accept that something happened that hurt you deeply. Turning away from the pain does not heal it. Facing it does. When you face your emotions, you release them. When you release them, you heal. When you heal, you rise. You may also need to let go of the belief that you are behind. The past makes you feel like you wasted time, but every experience taught you something. Nothing was wasted. You needed those lessons to become who you are today. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to take your next step. Letting go helps you regain control. When you carry the past controls you. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions become shaped by what already happened. But when you let go, you take your power back. You decide how you feel. You decide how you move forward. You are no longer trapped by memories. You are guided by your dreams. Letting go also opens your heart to new possibilities. When your heart is full of old pain, there is no room for new joy. When your mind is full of old fear, there is no room for new courage. When your life is full of old stories, there is no room for new chapters. But when you release the past, you create space for something new, something better, something aligned with the person you are becoming. As you learn to let go, you begin to feel lighter. You wake up with more clarity. You feel less stressed. You feel less triggered. You feel more hopeful. You feel more connected to yourself. The past no longer defines you. It becomes something you learned from, not something you live in. Letting go is an act of self-love. It is choosing your future over your pain. It is choosing growth over fear. It is choosing peace over chaos. It is choosing yourself. The past made you strong, but it does not have to shape your future. You have the right to release it. You have the right to grow beyond it. You have the right to become someone new. And once you let go, your dreams finally have the space to rise. Chapter 10. Staying focused. When life tries to pull you away, there will be times in your life when everything seems to pull you away from your dreams. You start with clarity. You know what you want. You feel connected to your goals. But then life happens. Responsibilities appear. Problems show up. People demand your attention. Doubt creeps in. Slowly your focus begins to fade. You are still moving, but not in the direction you wanted. This is one of the biggest challenges on the journey of focusing on yourself, learning how to stay focused even when life tries to distract you. Distractions are not always loud. Sometimes they are quiet. They come in the form of small delays, small excuses, small compromises. You tell yourself you will get back to your dream later. You tell yourself now is not the right time. You tell yourself you need to wait until things are easier, but later turns into weeks. Weeks turn into months, and before you know it, your dream feels distant. Staying focused means recognizing these moments and choosing differently. Life will never be calm forever. There will always be something happening. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will wait forever. Focus is not about having a quiet life. Focus is about staying connected to what matters, even when things are noisy. It is about remembering who you are and what you are building, even when life feels overwhelming. One of the reasons people lose focus is because they try to do too many things at once. They say yes to everything. They take on responsibilities that don't match their goals. They spread their energy in every direction. When your energy is scattered, your focus becomes weak. You feel busy, but you are not moving forward. Staying focused requires choosing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. You must learn to protect your time. Your time is limited. Every hour you give to something is an hour you take away from something else. When you focus on yourself, you begin to see time differently. You stop wasting it on things that drain you. You become more aware of how you spend your days. You ask yourself if what you are doing is helping your future or holding it back. Staying focused also means learning to deal with interruptions. People will interrupt you. Life will interrupt you. Plans will change. Things will go wrong. This is normal. Focus does not mean nothing goes wrong. It means you return to your path after things go wrong. You may slow down, you may pause, but you do not quit. You do not forget your dream. You do not lose sight of who you are becoming. There will be days when you feel tired, days when your mind feels heavy, days when your motivation is gone. On those days, focus does not mean doing everything. It means doing something. One small action, one small effort, one small step. Staying connected to your dream, even in small ways, keeps it alive. Progress does not stop because you move slowly. It stops when you stop moving. Another challenge to focus is emotional noise. Emotions can pull you away from your goals. Stress makes it hard to think clearly. Fear makes you hesitate. Anger distracts you. Sadness drains your energy. These emotions are part of being human, but they do not have to control your actions. Staying focused means learning to acknowledge your emotions without letting them decide your future. When you feel overwhelmed, you must slow down. Take a breath. Step back. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the bigger picture. Your current emotions are temporary. Your dream is long-term. If you allow temporary feelings to control permanent decisions, you will lose focus. But if you pause and reconnect with your purpose, clarity returns. Staying focused also requires discipline. Discipline is what keeps you on track when you don't feel inspired. It is what helps you show up even when you would rather avoid the work. Discipline does not mean pushing yourself until you break. It means creating routines that support your growth. Simple routines, daily habits, small actions repeated over time. These routines become anchors. They keep you grounded when life gets chaotic. You also need to be careful about the information you consume. What you watch, what you listen to, what you read. These things shape your mind. If you constantly consume negativity, your focus weakens. If you constantly compare yourself to others, your focus breaks. Staying focused means being selective. Choose content that strengthens you. Choose words that lift you. Choose ideas that help you grow. Another thing that pulls focus away is self-doubt. When you start questioning yourself, your energy shifts from action to overthinking. You replay conversations. You imagine worst-case outcomes. You wonder if you are good enough. These thoughts drain your focus. To stay focused, you must learn to act even when doubt is present. Confidence is built through action, not through waiting for certainty. You will also face moments where progress feels slow. You work hard, but results don't appear right away. This is where many people lose focus. They think something is wrong. They think they are failing. But slow progress is still progress. Growth often happens quietly before it shows on the surface. Staying focused means trusting the process, even when you cannot see immediate results. Sometimes staying focused means saying no to people you care about. Not because you don't value them, but because you value your future. You cannot be available to everyone all the time. You cannot carry everyone's expectations. You must choose yourself sometimes. This choice may feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary. People who truly support you will understand, and those who don't were never meant to guide your life. You must also learn to forgive yourself when you lose focus. Everyone slips. Everyone gets distracted. Everyone falls off track sometimes. Beating yourself up only wastes energy. Instead, notice it, accept it, and return to your path. Growth is not about being perfect. It is about coming back again and again. Each time you return, your focus becomes stronger. Staying focused also means keeping your dream clear in your mind. If your dream becomes blurry, your actions become weak. You must remind yourself what you are building. Visualize the life you want. Feel what it would be like to live it. This keeps your motivation alive. This gives your effort meaning. When your dream feels real, staying focused becomes easier. Another thing that helps focus is reducing decision fatigue. When you make too many decisions, your mind gets tired. Simple routines help with this. Decide when you work. Decide how you start your day. Decide what habits you follow. When these decisions are made in advance, you save energy. That energy can then be used to move toward your dream. Staying focused also means learning to be patient with the process. Impatience creates frustration. Frustration creates distraction. When you expect fast results, you lose focus when things move slowly. But when you accept that growth takes time, your focus becomes calm. You stop rushing, you stop forcing. You move with steady intention. You must also understand that focus is a skill. It gets stronger the more you practice it. In the beginning, your mind will wander. You will get distracted easily. That does not mean you are weak. It means you are learning. Each time you bring your attention back, you train your mind. Over time, focus becomes natural. There will be moments when life knocks you down, moments when plans fall apart, moments when things don't go your way. Staying focused does not mean ignoring pain. It means not letting pain decide your direction. You can feel hurt and still move forward. You can feel lost and still take one step. Focus is not about feeling strong all the time. It is about continuing even when you don't. When you stay focused, you begin to feel powerful. You stop reacting to everything around you. You stop being pulled in random directions. You move with purpose. You make choices that align with your future. You become calm in chaos. You become steady in uncertainty. You become someone who cannot be easily shaken. This kind of focus changes your life. It helps you build discipline. It helps you grow confidence. It helps you stay connected to yourself. It helps you protect your dreams. When life tries to pull you away, focus pulls you back. And every time you return to your path, you prove something important to yourself. You prove that your dream matters. You prove that you are committed. You prove that you are capable of staying true to yourself. That is how focus becomes strength. That is how strength becomes growth. That is how growth becomes the life you want. Chapter 11. Learning to be patient while your life is changing. One of the hardest things to learn while focusing on yourself is patience. You start working on your dreams. You change your habits. You grow your mindset. You protect your energy, and then you wait. Days pass. Weeks pass. Sometimes months pass. And life does not change as fast as you hoped. This is where many people feel frustrated. They wonder if their effort matters. They wonder if they are doing the right thing. They wonder if they should stop. But patience is not a weakness. It is a quiet strength that allows growth to happen. Most people quit during the waiting phase, not because they are incapable, but because they expect fast results. They want proof that their work is paying off. They want something to show for their effort. But real growth often happens where you cannot see it. It happens inside your mind, inside your habits, inside your character. These changes take time, and patience is what allows them to fully form. When you focus on yourself, your life begins to shift slowly. At first, the changes are small. You think more clearly. You feel calmer. You make better decisions. You react less. You feel more aware of your actions. These changes may not impress anyone else, but they are building something important. They are building a foundation. Without patience, you will never give this foundation time to support your dreams. Patience means trusting the process even when you feel uncertain. It means continuing even when progress feels invisible. It means staying committed even when motivation fades. It means understanding that growth does not happen on your schedule. It happens on the schedule of effort, consistency, and time. Many people rush because they compare themselves to others. They see someone else succeed and wonder why they are not there yet. But comparison destroys patience. Everyone has a different starting point. Everyone has different challenges. Everyone grows at a different pace. Your journey is not late. It is unfolding exactly as it needs to. When you rush, you make mistakes. You skip lessons. You force results. And forced growth does not last. But when you allow yourself time, your growth becomes deep. It becomes stable. It becomes something that cannot be taken away. Patience protects the quality of your growth. Learning patience also means learning to sit with discomfort. Waiting is uncomfortable. Uncertainty is uncomfortable. Not knowing the outcome is uncomfortable. But these feelings are part of becoming stronger. If you run away from discomfort, you stop growing. But if you stay with it, you develop emotional strength. You become someone who can handle uncertainty without giving up. Patience also teaches you how to manage your expectations. If your expectations are too high and too fast, disappointment will follow. But when you expect progress instead of perfection, patience grows naturally. You begin to appreciate small improvements. You begin to notice subtle changes. You begin to respect the journey instead of rushing toward the finish. Another part of patience is learning to stop checking for results all the time. When you constantly look for signs that things are working, you drain your energy. You shift your focus from action to outcome. But growth requires attention on effort, not results. Results arrive when effort becomes consistent. Patience allows you to stay focused on what you can control. There will be days when you feel behind, days when you feel stuck, days when nothing seems to move forward. These days test your patience, but they are also shaping you. They are teaching you how to stay steady when life is quiet. They are teaching you how to keep going without applause. This ability will serve you later, when challenges become bigger. Patience also means allowing yourself to rest without guilt. Growth is not about pushing all the time. Your mind needs space to breathe. Your body needs time to recover. Rest does not mean quitting. It means recharging. When you rest with intention, you come back stronger. Patience teaches you when to move and when to pause. You may also need patience with people around you. Not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone will support your pace. Some may question why you are changing. Some may think you are doing too much. Some may think you are doing too little. Patience allows you to stay calm without explaining yourself. You let time speak for you. Patience also helps you handle setbacks. When something goes wrong, impatience makes you panic. But patience helps you breathe, adjust, and continue. You stop seeing setbacks as failures. You see them as redirections. You learn from them. You move forward wiser than before. Another important lesson patience teaches is trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your effort. Trust in the timing of your life. When you trust, you stop forcing things. You stop doubting every step. You move forward with quiet confidence. This trust grows stronger each time you stay patient instead of giving up. Being patient does not mean being passive. You still take action. You still work. You still improve. Patience simply means you do not rush the results. You allow your effort to do its work. You allow growth to happen fully. You will notice that patient people carry a different kind of energy. They are calm. They are focused. They are grounded. They do not panic when things move slowly. They do not quit when things get hard. They understand that everything worthwhile takes time. As you practice patience, your relationship with yourself improves. You stop judging yourself harshly. You stop rushing your growth. You become kinder to your own journey. This kindness allows you to grow without pressure, and growth without pressure lasts longer. Patience also sharpens your focus. When you stop rushing, you stop scattering your energy. You move with intention. You choose wisely. You avoid unnecessary distractions. You stay aligned with your dreams. The life you are building is not meant to be rushed. It is meant to be built carefully. Every habit you change, every fear you face, every lesson you learn, all of it is shaping a future that can support your dreams. Patience gives this process the respect it deserves. You may not see the full picture yet, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Beneath the surface, something strong is forming. Your mindset is changing. Your discipline is growing. Your confidence is strengthening. Your focus is sharpening. These changes will show themselves in time. Patience is what keeps you steady during the quiet seasons. It keeps you moving when nothing exciting happens. It keeps you believing when nothing seems clear. And when the results finally arrive, you will realize that the waiting was shaping you all along. Growth is not delayed. It is preparing you. Chapter 12, Becoming the Person You Were Meant to Be. There comes a moment when you finally realize how far you have come. Not because someone else tells you, not because the world applauds you, but because you feel it inside. You think differently now. You act differently now. You no longer chase noise. You no longer live for approval. You no longer abandon yourself. This is what happens when you truly focus on yourself and your dreams. You begin to notice that your mind is quieter than it used to be. Not empty, just clear. Thoughts no longer rush in all directions. You understand what matters to you. You understand what does not. You feel grounded in your choices. Even when life feels uncertain, you no longer feel lost. You trust yourself enough to keep moving. Focusing on yourself changes how you see the world. You stop reacting to everything. You stop taking things personally. You stop feeling like every problem needs your attention. You begin to choose where your energy goes, and that choice gives you strength. It gives you peace. It gives you control over your life. Your dreams start to feel closer, not because they suddenly arrived, but because you are no longer running away from them. You no longer hide from your potential. You no longer delay your growth. You understand that every day you show up for yourself, you are building something real, something solid, something that cannot be taken away. You also begin to understand that your dream was never just about the result. It was always about who you become along the way, the discipline you built, the patience you learned, the courage you developed, the self-trust you earned. These things stay with you forever. Even if your dream changes shape, these qualities remain. At some point, you stop asking why life is hard and start asking how you can grow through it. You stop seeing challenges as signs to quit. You see them as tests of your commitment. You understand that discomfort is not punishment. It is proof that you are expanding beyond your old limits. You no longer feel the need to explain your journey. You no longer need validation. You no longer need permission. You move quietly. You work consistently. You protect your focus. You let results speak when the time is right. This confidence does not come from ego. It comes from alignment, from knowing you are living honestly. There will still be hard days. That never disappears. But now you face them differently. You don't panic. You don't spiral. You don't give up on yourself. You slow down. You adjust. You continue. That ability alone puts you ahead of most people, not because you are better, but because you stayed committed when it mattered. You start to notice that people respond to you differently, not because you changed for them, but because you changed for yourself. You carry yourself with calm certainty. You speak with intention. You listen more. You react less. People feel that energy. They respect it, even if they don't understand it. Your relationship with time changes too. You stop rushing. You stop feeling behind. You stop chasing shortcuts. You understand that growth takes time and that rushing only weakens the foundation. You move at a pace that allows you to stay consistent, and consistency quietly transforms everything. You also stop fearing solitude. Being alone no longer feels empty. It feels powerful. It becomes a place where you recharge, where you reflect, where you reconnect with your purpose. You realize that you don't need constant noise to feel alive. You need clarity. Your past no longer controls you. You remember it, but it does not define you. You learned from it. You grew from it. You released what no longer serves you. The weight you once carried is lighter now. And with that lightness comes freedom. You understand now that focusing on yourself was never about ignoring the world. It was about building yourself strong enough to face it. It was about choosing growth over comfort, truth over approval, purpose over distraction. Your dream may still be unfolding. It may still be taking shape, but you no longer doubt its worth. You no longer doubt your ability to reach it. You know that as long as you stay focused, stay patient, and stay true to yourself, you will continue moving forward. You also understand something deeper now. That success looks different for everyone. That peace matters. That alignment matters. That waking up knowing you are living honestly is a form of success many people never reach. The version of you who once felt lost would not recognize who you are becoming. That version was searching outward. This version looks inward. That version waited for confidence. This version built it. That version needed approval. This version approves itself. You have learned how to protect your energy, how to trust your decisions, how to stay focused when life pulls you away, how to be patient during slow seasons, how to let go of what no longer belongs to you. These lessons shape a life that is steady, not fragile. You move forward now with intention, not rushing, not forcing, just showing up. day by day, choice by choice, step by step. That is how real change happens. And no matter where you go from here, this foundation stays with you. You know how to return to yourself. You know how to refocus. 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 That knowledge is powerful. That focus is rare. And that journey is yours.